on? Does it concern you at all?
Is that right?
You know, I felt great about the debate tonight. And political campaigns, we knew this one was going to be tight and competitive, and it has been tight and competitive. And we're going to be campaigning tenaciously and tirelessly over these next 3 weeks. And I believe that the voters of Connecticut see a very distinct contrast between the two candidates here, which was, again, dramatized tonight.
Do you feel a little more relaxed? You seem that way tonight. Linda McMahon, right off the bat, tried to, imply that you were all wishy-washy about how you were going to create jobs. She jumped right in, but you seemed a little bit more confident tonight.
You know, I have a very specific plan, and we need one to create jobs, and one that I will fight for. And people in Connecticut know I am a fighter, and that I will stand for economic recovery, which we desperately need, for fairer trade policies, for an end to currency manipulation by China, which disadvantages our businesses. Fighting for Connecticut is what I've done for 20 years, and the people of Connecticut know me.
She said people don't take you seriously, or your credibility is ruined because you haven't been truthful.
You know, people can judge me by my actions over 20 years. And they know that I've fought for them. I've been in their corner. I've stood by them, sometimes against the most powerful and most wealthy foes. And I think they can judge that record.
Hey, Dick,
you had it. Go ahead.
Dick, on foreclosures, you were one of the attorney generals who led Bank of America to stop foreclosures because of the illegal paperwork that was submitted. Now some, including the Obama administration, believe that there's an overreaction the other direction and that there shouldn't be a blanket stop to foreclosures. Do you agree with Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid that there should be a halt to foreclosures because of what you unearthed, or do you believe that's having unintended consequences?
Let me say, I made an independent judgment that I would stand for homeowners who may be evicted with fraudulent and false documents. This issue is profoundly serious to this country, not only because it represents possibly a fraud on the court, but also it may kick out of their homes homeowners who shouldn't be out on the streets. And I believe strongly that false and fraudulent documents should not be the basis for foreclosures. I've called for a 60-day moratorium so we can determine which of these affidavits are false and which are true. They may be robo-signed by someone who had no familiarity with the facts of each specific situation. So let me just say very clearly, I'm proud to be at the forefront of attorneys general, and they may be very numerous who will take a stand against evicting people on the basis of false and fraudulent documents. They should have no place in our judicial proceedings, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep people in their homes against actions by the very banks who benefited from the bailout. They induced people into mortgages, and now they're kicking them out of their homes using false and fraudulent measures, and I'm going to stand in favor of a moratorium, as Bank of America has done, and as the other banks should follow in that example.
Dick, there was a question, an audience question about the degradation of women by the WWE. Mrs. McMahon said, well, there were times we probably pushed the envelope. Why at that point didn't you jump in with chapter and verse about some of the things that the WWE has put on? I mean, it seemed to be kind of a mild exchange when, there was an opening perhaps to do more.
I think the content of WWE has been on YouTube. People have seen it, and they may well see more of it in the next few weeks. They can make a judgment about what they think about a business that, in effect, markets sex and violence, and, in fact, undertakes other activities that have been under investigation. So I think that the people of Connecticut can make that judgment.
What were you going to say at the end when you said that you kind of got cut off on you were not going to be lectured to by a woman, and you kind of fizzled out?
I was saying that I would not be lectured by a person who has failed to be straight on the minimum wage, Social Security, and other issues. And I stand by statements that I made. I just want to offer one correction. I may have said hundreds of millions of dollars in referring to the cost of her lobbying activity. I meant hundreds of thousands. With the WWE and Linda McMahon fortune, it's easy to confuse hundreds of thousands with hundreds of millions.
Are you disappointed that you're not going to have an opportunity for that last debate?
Well, you know, I thought tonight was great, and I've got a very busy schedule over the next few weeks, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.